statement, and I now give the floor to the representative of Greece.
Mr. President, I thank you for convening this timely open debate. I would like to thank the Secretary General, the Executive Director of UN Women, Ms. Sima Bahous, and Ms. Olga Uskova and Mrs. Noura Erakat for their insightful contributions. I would also like to express my delegation's full support to the mandate of the Executive Director of UN Women and thank her and her team for their tireless work in advancing the empowerment of women and girls worldwide. Colleagues, 2 weeks ago we commemorated the 30th anniversary of the Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action. This month, we celebrate the 25 years since the adoption of the landmark resolution 1325 of Women and Peace and Security. Yet, despite these achievements, the Secretary General's latest report points to troubling regressions in many of the core goals of the WPS agenda. This trend must be reversed. Sustainable peace and security are inseparable from gender equality and cannot be achieved without the full, equal, meaningful, and safe participation of women. I would like to make 3 points. First, in the face of growing geopolitical tensions and conflicts and their disproportionate impact on women and girls, we need to uphold the protection of human rights and fundamental freedoms of all women. Greece condemns all violations, including conflict-related sexual and gender-based violence, and we stress the need for survivors' access to life-saving services, including sexual and reproductive health. The role of UN sanctions committees is crucial in this respect by ensuring that sexual and gender-based violence is incorporated as a standalone designation criterion in all sanctions regimes. In addition, all international accountability mechanisms should be explored for violations of the human rights of women. Second, women are not passive victims of conflict, but indispensable agents of peace. In this context, we fully endorse the Secretary General's call for women to constitute at least 30% of participants in peace processes. Participation is gender equal only when it includes all women. Peace builders and mediators, local and indigenous women, women from civil society organizations and the grassroots, activists and human rights defenders whose protection from reprisals is of paramount importance. The same applies to political representation. Today, only 29 countries are led by women, and women constitute barely 1/5 of permanent representatives at the UN. Women's active participation in political and public affairs must be promoted so that decision-making truly reflects the interests of women and men equally. Third, Greece, as a WPS champion and a signatory of the shared commitments on WPS, has pledged to advance the role of women as agents of change, driven by our National Action Plan on WPS and by strong national legislation and policies. We have adopted a zero-tolerance approach to violence, and we have integrated gender mainstreaming across all public administration and budgeting processes. To strengthen women's political and economic participation, Greece has introduced a 40% candidate quota for elections and mandated 33% gender representation on boards of directors of large listed companies. We are also reinforcing gender equality committees in universities and research institutions to combat discrimination and harassment. Mr. President, a gender-equal world is a safer, more prosperous, and more peaceful world. Greece will continue working with partners to ensure that our commitments are not only rhetorical, but real, resourced, and results-driven. Let us renew our efforts so that the promise of Resolution 1325 translates into tangible change for women and girls everywhere, for a better future for all. Thank you.
I thank the representative of Greece for her statement, and I now give the floor